Hello and welcome to this next tutorial in building a basic website. Now, one of the other things you might want to have happen is you might want to link to other pages within your website or other external websites from your website. So to do that, we need a hyperreference tag and an anchor tag. So what we do is we open up a tag just like we have before, and we're going to put the letter A, which stands for anchor, and then this will be wanting the web page we're going to link. So we use the href tag, which is short for hyperreference, so that's the hyperlink, and then we use the equal sign, open up some speech marks, and in here we put the web page we're going to link to. So I'm going to go to Google, for example, so I'm going to go https colon, and then I will need / google.com, and then I am going to close that, and that is my link. Now what I have to do after this is I have to close my first tag for the anchor tag, and for the hyperreference, and then I have to put the text that I want to appear on the screen. So I'm going to put Google, just like that, and then I am going to close the anchor tag like so. So that will now give us a link to Google, all being well. Okay, so again, make sure you save it before checking it works. Come back to the web page, refresh it, and you can now see I've got a link here, and as you can see, it links me to Google beautifully. So there we have it, a quick way to put a link in to another site. So just like that. Now you may notice that it's appeared in line with the image here, which is not ideal. Now generally when you format things, you want to use CSS. So CSS is another language which allows you to make your website look nice. Now if you just want a quick way of just bumping something down a line, you can use something called a BR tag. Now this generally is not good practice. You shouldn't use these by default. You should use CSS when you get used to doing this, but as you can see, as a quick fix, I've now got that below the image and it looks a little bit better. Now there's some of the basic tags you want to use. As I mentioned, it's better to use CSS to do things, to change the way things look. So let's look at a quick way of doing just that. Now, when you do this sort of professionally, you tend to have what's known as an external style sheet. So that's a separate file. You put all your CSS code and then you link to it in the head section. As we're just practicing today, we're actually going to do what's known as an internal style sheet, which is where we just put the word style inside a tag in the head section this time. So you can see here, this is between the open and close head tag. And then just because it's good practice, I'm going to close it straight away so I don't forget to do that later. And now I can put CSS code in here inside the style tag to affect the page. So for example, if I wanted to make the H1 tag a different color, I can just go H1. Now I'm going to open up some parentheses, which are these kind of squiggly brackets, and I could now go color. Now this is the American spelling, which trips some people up. I put a colon, and I'm just going to put blue and then a semicolon. And if I save this, what we should see now is the H1 tag will change color to blue, which indeed it does. So this is a nice way of being able to change things around a little bit. Now I might want to move my H1 tag, across a little bit. I might want to change the font, and these are all things we can do. So I could, for example, change the font type. So for that, it's font family. And then I put a colon, and for example, I might try to use Verdana, hopefully spell it correctly this time, and put a semicolon again to say that's the end of that one. And if we come back to the website again and we refresh the page, it's worked beautifully. We've now got Verdana as our font family. So lots of different things we can do here. We might want to change the background color of the whole page. So to do that, I would use the word body, because body is everything that appears on the page. And in here, to change the background color, you literally say background color, like so. Put a colon and, I don't know, let's just put grey for now, and a semicolon. Save that, and if we go back to our web page, refresh it, we've now got a grey background. So really helpful to start making the page look a little bit different. Another thing you might well want to do is start centering your text. So for example, the H1 tag here, this is, I've got it down here as the main title of my web page, so I might want to align that text to the center. So we can use something called text align here, and if I put colon after it and center, and again, just be careful with spelling stuff, because a lot of the time spellings in CSS and HTML are the Americanized version, so you need to spell the American way, otherwise you'll see things don't work quite the way you expect. And then, as you can see, my H1 tag is now centered. Now, if I wanted to center all the text on the page, probably wouldn't want to, but if I did, I could just put the text align center rather than in the H1 tag. I could put it in the body tag here, save that, and now all the text would move to the center of the page. So if I refresh that, you've got all of the text appearing to the left, as well as the image has moved across as well, with the exception of the numbers here. So generally, I don't apply this tag to the whole page. I apply it individually to elements, but just to show you, that you can. So I've got it on the H1 tag here, and we can do some different CSS to move the other things around as we want it. Okay, well, thanks for watching. We'll look at a few more things you can do to style the page next time, but at least that gives you some basics to get along with. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.